Yo, what is good again, everybody? Um, Welcome back to the show. I am your main host, Luke. Some of you may know me as Ziggy or Zig. You can call me whatever. That's cool. You know, it's all good. Um, yeah, so I'm kind of just been chilling. It's the New Year's. I've been on a movie spree lately. Been jamming out to some death grips all morning. Kind of writing, hanging out. Um, New Year's, I just kind of kicked it by myself, watched some movies. I watched Steve-O's special, the Bucket List special, special, which was phenomenal. It had me rolling on the floor laughing. I think it's epic, an epic part of his journey, and I loved it. So, I mean, if Steve-O, you ever catch this, that was great. So yeah, I mean, I've been having a good holiday vacation. Just been chilling, working on the show and working on some music. Today I was just chilling, so I figured I'd hop on and bullshit with y'all about this show and what you'd expect and give you kind of a little brief explanation of the show and talk about what's to come. It's this is like mainly going to be a show about passion. It's going to be here and there. The main things you're going to hear about and we're going to talk about and bullshit on is like music and like underground culture and underground stuff. I take a lot of inspiration from like Nardwar and the punk rock NBA, yeah, whatever. Finn McKenty, I think he's brilliant. The dude's knowledge is just a whole sea, dude. It's impressive, and I look up to him and also other YouTubers, Nick Nocturnal. I love Cinemassacre and the stuff they've done. So yeah, I figured why not see if I can't stick my hand in the door. I was pretty good at making videos in high school. I had like a little rain through a high school that had a little fan base, so I was like, screw it, man. I'm gonna send this shit. Why not? So like, and it's not just gonna be mainly about music and it's gonna be like records and collecting and VHS stuff. I want to talk about skateboarding a little bit, video games, because like I grew up. I To start the story off, like I grew up like kind of a gamer kid. I got the PlayStation, and I grew up. I just loving video games, hanging out inside, playing video games with my friends, going outside and playing the video games. Like I remember me and my buddies would play like Jack and Daxter and Streets of Rage was a big one for me. Star Wars. I mean, I know that's a movie as well, but we played a lot of the video games. Just endless like imagination world. So I loved video games, which brought me to skateboarding, which is a huge staple in all of this, because when I was young and watching and skateboarding, I was around in fourth grade, and I was just started playing Tony Hawk's. I want to say Pro Skater 4. And my cousin Jess, I remember it was like middle school. I was just about to hit middle school because around here, fourth grade's the end of elementary and fifth grade's middle school, and all the middle school kids skated and skateboarded. And I always like playing the video game, like watching the videos. I was looking at this like, man, like and listening to the music and hearing the music. I always loved the music, like, and introduced me to punk and ska and just so much, like Fu Manchu, a lot of just great classic bands from a whole bunch of different eras. And then after I got introduced to skateboarding and skating, there was a very important game that really spiked like my music and just my whole world in general, and that would be Tony Hawk's Underground 2. I originally played 2 first, I remember, because my buddies Ben and Nate, shout out, to those guys. They're still to this day like good friends of mine, childhood friends. We grew up together, literally in diapers. Same with my buddy Brandon. We'd always play this game too. Tony Hawk's, yeah, I want to say it was Underground 2 with the World Destruction Tour, and that was it. That sealed the deal. I was headfirst into skateboarding and playing guitar and all that, man. I remember just wanting to always constantly like listen to like Rage Against the Machine, because me and my buddy Ben, like I gotta thank Ben for introducing me to a lot, because I remember we were skateboarding one day out over at my place, and I grew up in a small town, so we had like very little to skate on and skate around, and so my buddy Ben, him and I were like talking. We were so young. We were like just dreaming, like, oh man, let's make a skate video. What song do you want? And I was huge into System of a Down at the time. I remember when I was in around that era, I was listening to a lot of like Rammstein and System of Down. So yeah, if you can see, if you can imagine that. And I remember he was like, "Yo, dude, I want Guerrilla Radio." And I was like, "Guerrilla Radio, man, that sounds cool. Like, what's that song?" He's like, "Rage Against the Machine. It was on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater." And I remember listening to that song, and after that, it was it. And then I was a Rage Against the Machine head through and through. And that's when I want to say, like, around the same time Guitar Hero 3 came out, which was another huge staple for me, because that introduced me to, like, all different forms and, like, different styles of guitar playing. I remember when I learned about how Tom Morello played guitar, I was obsessed. Another buddy I got to shout out is, like, Colin Post, because I remember when I was young, like, he was, like, the cool dude who would, like, he rode BMX. I always skated. But he rode BMX, but he always listened to crazy good music, and like was always crazy and fun, and like a super cool like artsy dude. So I always kind of looked up to him, and he always showed me. I would like sort of copy him in a way. I kind of feel bad these days, but like I don't know. I just kind of was young and looked up to him. He was kind of an older dude, like a couple years older, a year or two older, and I was like, man, this guy's cool. And after like that era, I was like the whole Rage Against the Machine era, kind of came along with like the Mars Volta and like At the Drive-In, post-punky stuff like that, and like that was kind of my introduction to prog, because I had never heard a 12-minute song in my life at that point. So when I heard that 12-minute song, dude, I was I'm trying to remember. I think it was Goliath. Goliath was the first one, which I think is like 7 to 8 minutes. It might be one of their shorter ones, but I remember listening to Goliath and watching that video and just like, what is this? Just like all the effects, like the wah-wah, crazy wah-wahs, and like the double bass drums. I was like, it's like metal drums, but it was sick, man. I fell in love right away. I was listening to a lot of like Coheed and Cambria too, so like the technical Tweedledee was really like visually listening. It was very how do I say, cool to me at the time. We'll just go with that. It was cool at the time. It still is. I still listen to a lot of stuff like that, like what is it, High School Football. They're good. Drive Like Jehu's kind of Tweedledee. Captain Jazz, Tweedledee. Or like even newer Tweedledee stuff like Polyphia, and I can get down on that. I'm not really a hater, like I used to be. Coming from where I was to where I am now, I done a complete 180. Because when I was in like 2000, what? I want to say 2000, like 15, 16. I was about 20, 21, and dude, it was Black Sabbath and like Slayer and Pentagram and shit like that only. Like the hair metal could go fuck itself. Heavy metal could go fuck itself. And punk, of course. I always had listened to fucking heavier. And a garage rock. I was listening to a lot of like 60s garage rock, garage style rock in those times too. But over the years, man, I've really just fallen in love with everything. Um, uh, which will lead me to my next point after this cool little commercial. Check it. We'll be right back. Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, briefly we were talking kind of about a little bit about myself and what to expect from the show. Yeah, like I said, some underground shit, good music, good tunes, good jams, good movies. Um, Probably bullshit a lot about movies and directors and just like fun facts. It's gonna be a fun ride, you know. Do some reviews. Also, I'm gonna do some pedal reviews. Uh, I run a pedal board and I love pedals. I'm a huge pedal nerd. I actually posted on my recent board on Pedal Boards of Doom on Facebook, and it's doing pretty good right now. It's got quite a few likes and a couple of shares. It's got like 4 shares, which is cool. I wasn't expecting that at all. I kind of got some funny stuff on there. Like I got a picture of Jesus on my metal zone, and there's like a weed leaf patch that I velcroed on there. And yeah, people seem to like that. So cool. Shout out to Pedal Boards of Doom on Facebook. I'm probably gonna post like my show on that because I talk about a lot of guitar stuff and pedals. Me and my homegirl are probably gonna do an episode on pedals, and I mean, there's gonna also be like some cooking segments. Me and my brother, we throw down, you know, and I'm gonna call that little segment the Powsy Prime Time, because me, my cousin, and my brother, we got this like language where we're all just speaking Powsy, and we nicknamed him Skis. Now I know it doesn't sound good, but if you were around, it's a lot more acceptable than you would think, and than it sounds. um, but yeah, I'm huge into music. Spotify like runs my life. I'm on Spotify all the freaking time, and it's been a good year, a good few years. I've stayed pretty relevant around the same like styles and things I've been listening to, but I like to stick my ear in other areas when it comes to listening to music as well, because I just like so many different sounds, especially percussive sounds like African drumming and like breakcore. I love breakcore because there's just like a million percussing things going on, and it's like whoa. So I think that shit's cool. Dark wave is another one that I've been on lately. Let's check it out. I got all the data right here, baby. We'll hop on Spotify and see what's up with the wrap up. I know I got mine on here for the year. It was a good one. We'll just run through that quick and what I've been listening to, just to give y'all an idea of what to expect. I'm all over the board, you know, so you can't really like say anything. This is a dope app, by the way. stats.fm. It shows you all your Spotify stats, which is super dope, super fun, super handy. I know my top 5 bands over the year was number 1 Death Grips, which I could see I was big into them. My buddy Austin showed me them, and I didn't really like them at first, but like the more I like listened to them and got into them, I was like, man, this is like super unique and cool. And then I figured out what they were. They're like a 3-piece, and one dude's like the producer, drummer, and the other dude's on a keyboard, and MC Ride kills it. Sorry, I'm forgetting names. I feel terrible for forgetting the names and all that. But yeah, they kick ass. So I can see why they're my top. I want to say 2 was Cannibal Corpse, which another one doesn't surprise me. I was really big in. This has been a huge death metal year for me. I listened to a crap ton of death metal this year and fell in headfirst. Even like the crappy stuff, like that's like bad on purpose. Like I don't want to say the name because I'm trying to make this kind of family friendly. But there's some like they call it porn grind, I think. And there's a couple. One Canadian one. If you know, you know, dude. If you know, you know. So yeah. Sorry, excuse that. I'm testing my little bro. He's cool as hell. He's on a couple episodes, so stay tuned. It's fun. But yeah, just death metal. I'm trying to think of Satan's Revenge on Mankind. That's a big one I'm into right now. They got this like trash can dog shit sounding snare that actually kind of works, and their like tone is just so heavy and nasty, and they got like a couple of different vocal styles in there. Embalmed is good. Rotting, dude. Their album Crushed. I gave it a 5 stars on. I forgot what it was, but I forgot the app. Hang on, give me a second. Music Board. I gave him 5 on that album. Ooh, if you're a death metal head out there, check that out, dude, because it grinds. It grinds your face into the freaking cement, and you can't breathe after it. It's amazing. It leaves you gasping. Badass death metal. So I can totally see why Cannibal Corpse was my number 2. Because I like their technicality. The Bleeding is a masterpiece, and Vile right after it. Oh, and I like their early shit too. I got a signed copy back there of Butcher to Birth. Hell yeah. I went and saw him. One of the funnest concerts ever, dude. One of my favorite. I crowd surfed like twice. And it was just fun. Like I went in there thinking like, oh man, this might be a little rough, but no, it was cool. And the bands that played with them were super dope too. It was like some like one of them was like black metal, and I enjoy some black metal from time to time. So it was badass and sick. And of course, my third was freaking one of the greatest to ever do it. One of my favorite bands of all time, Slayer. If you go into the next room, you'll see I have a whole mural dedicated to Hell Awaits. I think it's easily my favorite album. Probably my favorite. It's in the top like 3, 2, maybe even 1 of my favorite albums. And I say that with confidence because it is just so great. Like Crypts of Eternity. What is it? At dawn they sleep. The whole album is just Hell Awaits itself. Just the way they come in and enter it, and it makes the whole album like a conjoint. It's just a masterpiece. Everything Slayer. I even like their new metal shit. I mean, I don't go out and listen to it like some of my homies do. Shout out Kevo. But yeah, dude. It's dude, Slayer's fucking the shit, and so is that album. And earlier, I think last year, 2022, they were my top. They were my top band, which doesn't surprise me because I fell headfirst into them. And I got a lot of my buddies on them too. Rain of Blood, of course, is a masterpiece. South of Heaven. Uh, yeah, dude. Season of the Abyss. Come on, man. Anything Jeff era kills it. Anything Lombardo's on, I mean, come on. So that's no surprise. Cro-Mags, dude. Cro-Mags was my, what am I on, fourth? Yeah, fourth. Which is, I love all of them. John Joseph, he plays a big role in my life. I've read the PMA Effect. I'd like to take the step towards eating healthier. I'm on and off about it. You know, I like veggies. I love them. I eat a lot of veggies. Any of my homies will tell you that I'm a veggie fish freak. I love eating vegetables and I love eating fish, but I do love eating junk food too. Like McDonald's. McDonald's is my favorite restaurant, by the way, because I grew up on it and it's the shit. But yeah, and I got to see Harley. I think Harley's super cool. He's been through some shit, and fuck, man, watching. I went and watched. I actually got a cool photo with him, and I got to fist bump him and like listening to him and watching him live. I've never seen anyone play the bass like him. Like he's got this like thumb thing where he's like, it's crazy. The show's crazy. Me and my boy Kevo were stirring it up, dude. That like, yeah, it was a fun night and literally one of my favorite bands of all time. Huge John Joseph fan. JJ, fucking huge. Harley fan. Just Cro-Mags in general. Blood Clot. I even like Blood Clot. The newer Cro-Mags. Their newer stuff is pretty fucking badass. So yeah, and the New York hardcore scene. I'm sure I could do a whole video, and I probably will do a whole video on the whole hardcore in general. I'm a huge fan, even like nowadays, from Madball, Agnostic Front, all the way to like Fear and Black Flag. You know, the California scene, the DC scene. Bad Brains, the ones who started it all. You know, Misfits, a lot of people want to throw them in there with punk. Yes and no, they got some hardcore shit in there, if you ask me. I mean, like I said, I don't hate on anybody's opinion. I think everybody's got their own way of seeing things, and some of their songs are pretty fast, loud, heavy, and in your face, so... Yeah, and then finally, dude, this one kind of came surprise to me. The fifth one was friggin' Project Pat, which I love. I love that was Project Pat because I got a DUI and I went to jail for like 7 days, and that was like my pump up music for 7 fucking days in jail. Was fucking Project Pat, 90 days, dude. Fucking just bumping. I love Southern Memphis rap and just Southern rap in general, but Memphis has like its own thing going. Any Memphis music, hip hop and rap connoisseurs will know exactly what I'm talking about with like 8-Ball MJG, 3-6 Mafia, and it's heard a lot in culture today with like Suicide Boys, Freddie Dredd. That other metal dude's name, I'm so sorry. God, Ghostmane, excuse me. Much respect. I dig it all. Like, I'll listen to it all. I mean, I'm definitely more of the OG 666 Mafia, the Kazis, freaking Tommy Wright the Third, Koopsta, you know, all the OGs. Lord Infamous is one of my favorite rappers. I feel like he walked so a lot of rappers can run with the flow that they're throwing down these days. So yeah, much respect to all of them. I just love the Project Peta, boop, boop. smacking bitches all day, la 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 la. It just makes me feel like a bad motherfucker rolling through the streets. So I love me some Project Pat, uh, which is, like I said, Memphis rap takes the cake. Even like the newer 3-6 and like DJ Paul. I'm gonna take 1 second to say DJ Paul does not get enough credit these days, man. DJ Paul invented the sound everybody's listening to, or I mean, not invented it, but gave us some steroids and ramped it. You know what I mean? There was a certain DJ out of Memphis. Actually, I think he was in from Miami, and they were sampling his stuff in Memphis. It was Flash or something. I could be very wrong. Please excuse me. I know I might get some boo-boo in the comments, but hey, man, I know a little something. And they started sampling, but that yeah, that's a lot of like that old Memphis sound with like Shoddy Pimp. And I mean, I'm sure Paul got inspiration, but DJ Paul, I gotta give it creds for making that sound global. You know what I mean? So he's another one of my favorites out there that like I feel needs to be recognized a little more for what he's genuinely done for music. Because a lot of the shit we're hearing is thanks to him. On that note, let's see like what's popular on my list right now. My top artists. This is kind of cool. This is unique. This is super cool. This is why I like this app. My top artists, number 1, Wasp, which, hell yeah, I love Wasp. Tormentor. It's a badass song. Love that song. Number 2 for top artist, Cannibal Corpse, which we already discussed that. 3, Death Grips. 4, Rotting, which is that death metal band I was telling everyone to check out. Go do it. This is an interesting one. 5, Kiss. Last year I wanted my buddy Logan, who is on another episode, he got me big into Kiss this year. I've heard they were kind of like they were put together kind of like the Monkees of their time. So I was like, I don't know if I'm down with that, you know. But deep diving, yeah, Kiss fucking rules, man. So, they're number 5. And I'll leave it at that. I'm gonna cut to commercial, go do a little bathroom break, get a rest in, and we will see you in a bit. Thank you. Peace, and be right back. Yeah. What's up, everyone? Back again. I have to apologize. Kind of went out and hung out with my brother, and we just kind of kicked it. We meant to film something, but we didn't really get anything like super great. So yeah, I've just been chilling the last couple of days. So I figured I'd hop on and finish this first episode with you guys. I know I was talking a lot about like what led me on this journey and a little bit about like my music, a lot about music and like underground culture. I know I was talking a lot about Tony Hawk games and things like that and how it led me on my music journey. So I figured I'd bring this last little piece out with some movies. I went digging yesterday at the local spot. Shout out Game Room. And I scored another 5 out of 5. That's one of my things lately. Is I love digging, and it's just what I do. Excuse me, I'm gonna adjust my camera. I apologize. It's just what I like doing. I do it all the time. I love just kicking on a podcast, going to stores and seeing if I can't find I'll make like a little list. Like Dick Tracy's been on my list. I'm a huge fan of Cinemassacre, and the nerd is always talking Dick Tracy and things about Dick Tracy. So I wanted to see for myself. I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna watch it tonight. I'm gonna definitely review it. My review will be on Letterboxd if you want to check it out afterwards. If you catch this episode. Yeah, let's dig in to the movies I scored. And there'll be more on digging episodes. I also dig for vinyls. While I was there, they had a whole wall of VHS tapes, and I was sitting there just like, man, I want to get like the classic horrors on VHS. They had Silence of the Lambs, but the box was super busted up on the back. Like the front was cool, but the back had some gnarly tears, and I mean, I maybe could have fixed it up a little bit, but I didn't want to waste my time with it, and it was like $4 or so. I mean, if it was like $1, yeah, but no, they got a good deal going on too. They got buy 4 DVDs, get the 5th one free. Which, shit, man, I'm a sucker for that. Especially if you find those $2 to $3 ones, you can just bank on them all day. And that's I take my price tags off. So I don't know. I like to keep a clean case. I like my DVDs really clean and looking good. So I normally take the case off. Excuse me, the sticker off. And the sticker's off. But I'm a bargain guy. I like aim for my bang for my buck. And I knew I'm an old school movie guy. Some of them are going to be more expensive than others. But I like to aim low and get more for what I'm paying for. Alright. I guess we can start this off on my digging collection. I'll just run through everything I got, and then we'll just kind of chop it down. I got, I've been wanting to get this for a while because I haven't seen the whole thing. I've just seen clips. Deuce, the Korn documentary. It's I forgot when it was released. I can't tell you much. It's just, I know it's super old, and I want to say it's Life is Peachy era. Don't quote me on that. I want to say this is a lot of I mean, they got Blind, Adidas, and it's their earlier era, which I'm extremely a huge fan of. By the way, I love old school Korn. Their first, second, third album, Issues is great too, and all the stuff. Even their latest album I got down. Like I said, I've been trying to work on not being such a hater and open to stuff. Their dubsteppy stuff I could do without, But I know they plugging in and making new noises, and that's healthy for musicians and creativeness, And at the time they were doing that dubstep shit was just running wild. Their shit with Skrillex or whatever. I mean, I ain't hating on it. I'm not the biggest Skrillex guy, like in that like style of EDM. I love EDM, especially like the old school Dub Police Caspa back in like '06, '08 even. I know they were even like cranking dub. I watched a documentary like back in the day when I was just getting into high school freshman year, like when it was new on the scene with like Rusko, Banga. Like my buddy Nate, shout out Nate. I probably already shouted him out once in this episode, but yeah, he turned me on to that. He's another good buddy of mine who turns me on to a lot of good music. Um, but yeah, he might have even like got me into Korn pretty heavy as a kid because I know he was pretty into Korn and I know he's a pretty solid Korn fan. So shout out to my boy fucking Obby, Obsidian. Abstract of the light, you know what I mean? OPs for life, turned down, baby. Um, like I said, I'm excited to watch this. My buddy Austin is a pretty big Korn fan too. He might be on the show, he might not, but I'm sure we'll dig into more of that. They're the OGs in new metal. I don't even know if I could even consider them new metal. They're just so fucking different and righteous and gnarly. Um, I'm sure some people even link them into sludge and shit. They do have the hip hop element, and they experiment, especially on their later albums, with like the what do they call it? The jump riffs and the jump beats and shit. And like Fieldy's pretty gangster. And I know they listen to a lot of hip hop and a lot of the eras they were in. So love Korn. Super hyped to watch that. Like I said, I've seen like clips of it on Facebook video and it's just like YouTube and shit. It's like you have to rent it on YouTube, which is like I said, cool, like whatever. But it's not like back in the day we can find a music documentary for free. But yeah, it's cool, whatever. I'm glad I scored it and it's in my collection now. I got a cool little music thing going. It's not my music docs in my DVD collection aren't the biggest. I am proud that I have Incubus Volume 2 though, because like that's one that me and my boy Brando, I'm sure he'll be on this episode too. He's been hitting me up. He wants to start like a Gigi Allen, Bee Gees like cross hardcore, like cover Bee Gees songs but Gigi Allen styles, like beat people up and shit. I'm like, alright, I'm in, you know. I'm a huge Gigi fan. I got a Gigi Allen fucking tattoo, for Christ's sake. But yeah, I mean, it sounds fun. Covering hardcore versions of Bee Gees songs. And he's got like a sick lineup for like the people in the band. They're all good buds. They're all cool cats. So I might see where that goes. I don't know. He wants me to play the drums, and I'm an okay drummer, so I might see what's up with it. I could definitely bang out some hardcore drums for sure, and like make it BD style. That sounds super sick. So yeah, pretty hyped on that. All right, let's hop back and take a pivot to back onto the DVDs. We'll go back to this one because the other ones are going to get pretty in-depth. This is a personal favorite of mine. Like, very personal. Probably top 10 in my movies. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Finally got my hands on this. And yes, I did order Ash vs. Evil Dead. I got the whole Bruce Campbell Evil Dead saga, Sam Raimi. All of it's coming my way. I own that. I am a huge fan. I love both Evil Dead Rise and the other Evil Dead they did back in 2013, I think it was. 2010, 2013. I forget the year, but God, that was a masterpiece. That was a fucking masterpiece, man. Especially that scene when it was raining blood at the end. God damn, dude. I love anything Evil Dead, dude. Even the remakes. You gotta give it up, dude. Come on, they fucking kill it. You gotta be a fucking hater of the full extent not to love that shit. Even Evil Dead Rise, man. Like, the music in that shit was great too. Like, the whole concept, it wasn't so, like, modern age. I mean, it was, but it wasn't, and I just like where they went with it. They held it down in the storyline pretty good with the Deadites and shit too. And who doesn't want to see a fucking Deadite get thrown in a fucking wood chipper? I mean, it's excellent, man. It's fucking excellent, dude. So, like I said, huge Evil Dead guy, fan, Evil Dead nerd. Bruce Campbell's the man, chainsaw hand and all. Super stoked on this collection. I can't be any more proud of it. I'm a huge Sam Raimi fan. I love his Spider-Man films. I hear his Doctor Who. Not a bit, like, ever since, like, honest, I know I talk about this in another episode, but Marvel, I feel kind of is like, okay, I'm outside the Marvel universe, man. Like, some of that shit's just beyond me, and they linked it up. I hear, and I will agree that Guardians of the Galaxy has an amazing soundtrack. My buddy has a record for it, and we jam it from time to time. It kind of almost reminds me of like a Dazed and Confused soundtrack, you know. So I'll give it that. I think I don't know fully like the whole concept on their. I know it has something to do with the time and keeping track of the times. In the I haven't seen any of them. I'm not, like I said, the biggest Marvel guy. Pivoting back to the Sam Raimi's, I might check out the Doctor Who. I might not. I like to stay. I love Stan Lee and what he did and what he created. I appreciate it greatly, but it's kind of been blown out of proportion. You know what I mean? I like to like value that part of it instead of just like watch what's going on now with like everything. And they're even like throwing like the X-Men in with like Deadpool, and I just can't. It's like almost like Fast and Furious, man. They sent those fuckers to space, for God's sake. And I'm all in for fucking going to space. I love Jason X, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I don't know. Some of it's just like hit or miss with me. It's not something I won't watch if it comes up and the homie's like, yo, let's watch this. Like, all right, dude, bad movie night, let's go. Good snacks. So yeah, Sam Raimi, huge fan. His brother's really good too. I think they were in The Intruder. It was either him or his brother who got murdered. They look very similar, and I loved that too. Like I said, they're pretty big staples in like the '80s scene of the horror. And I know he likes to torture Bruce Campbell. So. Yeah, dude. I've probably said it a million times, but Sam Raimi and Evil Dead saga will forever be a huge staple in my heart. And I hope like it continues. I hope Sam Raimi like maybe gets a whim to like go back and maybe like mess with it a little bit, you know, like see what he can do with like what he created instead of everything being like revamped off of something different in his universe, you know what I mean? The Deadites and the Necronomicon, and it's brilliant. So I gotta give it up. Army of Darkness definitely gets 5 out of 5 stars for me. Super hyped. I have it written in my notes. Anything Evil Dead, grab, because I scored Evil Dead 2, which is easily probably top 3 movies of mine. Because it's like the exact mix of what I love. It's like slapstick, quirky, gory, gooey comedy mixed with like actually scary, fucked up, weird shit that makes you like, what the fuck? You know, Evil Dead 1 was really good and pretty gnarly. I remember watching it in the basement, just scary shit. And that tree scene, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's pretty gnarly. And that one kind of, I don't know, hit me off guard. But I am here for it, man. I've seen more fucked up shit than that. So I don't know. It didn't throw me off like too crazy. Like I said, I love the gory, Tom Savini-esque style, gooey, shooting puke and guts and goo, green, anything green, pink, purple, blood, or even yellow, man. Street trash. Freaking, let's go, man. Or even like if you've seen the garden footage of Led Zeppelin, they direct like scenes and there's a mafia scene. I forget who directed that one. I want to say it's not Bonham. Maybe John Paul Jones. It's either John Paul Jones. Yeah, it's John Paul Jones. And it's like a mafia scene, dude. And one of the dudes gets his head shot off by a Tommy gun, and he's just spewing rainbow blood out of his neck. And I was like, this is gnarly. This is how you do a fucking music concert, dude. That shit was sick. So yeah, like I said, Led Zeppelin knew what they were doing with that shit for sure. And then there was another. I think it was the one Page directed, where he's just like sitting there reading some cold shit, and he turns around and his eyes like glow red. I was like, okay, all right, I see you, Zeppelin. And I mean, you gotta love Zeppelin if you're a rock and roll dude. Fuck. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone who doesn't love Zepp. I mean, they get played out every once in a while, of course. I own all their shit and I've listened to them many times. But I'll never in my life say Zeppelin ain't for me. And on that note, continuing on. This next one's gonna be pretty big. I mean, these four, so I'm going to hit it off with this right here, dude. This one. I have been hearing and searching about this one forever. Shout out to Angry Video Game Nerd. Your name escapes me right now, and I fucking apologize. I'll get it down. Thank you for introducing me to this. There was someone else. I want to say, I also heard this on a movie podcast or something out there. Maybe it was Across the Universe. Maybe it was the Breakfast Dudes. I forgot their names. I'm so sorry. I listen to you guys all the time. I should know your name. But boom, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. That's freaking right, dude. Warren Beatty, Dick Tracy. I know Madonna's all over this shit. I'm loving the style of the yellow trench coat with the purple everywhere. The mobster styles with the burnt skin and just looking all fucked. I haven't seen this. I need to, it's just, once I heard about this, it was one of those where it's like, how have I not heard about this fucking shit, dude? Like, what? They got, like, Thompsons, Tommy guns, fucking old school mobster cars. It just seems like something right up my alley. I love Madonna's old music, like, even though she's become what she has become today. I'm not going to comment on that because we're all beautiful and we're all our own people, but it's like, yo, this movie just seems dope, and I'm surprised I haven't seen it. I really don't know too much about it, except for it's action-packed, and it had an NES game back in the day that seemed pretty dope. I mean, I learned about it of AVGN, of course, and that dude's always like, you know, he's the AVGN, he's doing his thing, and it honestly just, the way you like talk shit, it makes it sound fun. I mean, that's why I admire and love him. Same about the Jaws game and all that shit. It's like, yo, it's kind of a piece of shit, but yo, it's kind of fun for the time it was released. So yeah, like I said, the story behind this in the store was, dude, I've ran through store on store on store on store on store on store. I about bought it, dude. I about just said fuck it and bought it on the internet. But I didn't give up. I did not give up the battle at all. I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep on looking. So I looked through. The Game Room has a shit ton of different, like, they got drama and action and a bunch of stuff, so it's kind of like mixed match, so you gotta look through it all. Same with, like, horror, because you never know, like, what's under the horror category, what's under the mystery drama. And, like, nothing's really labeled too accurately, so it's kind of, it's fun. I kind of like their style because it like, makes me want to dig even more than I do. So I get to digging deep. I go through everything. I couldn't find it. I was like thinking I struck out. I was like, fuck, man. this was a lose. You know, obviously I was gonna freaking lose. I thought, nope, no, once again, they still don't have no episodes of Dick Tracy, or not episode, no Dick Tracy. I don't know if they like take record of the database of like the movies they do have. I'd assume they do because they work off a scan system. So I was gonna ask, but I don't know. I just like to hunt. I love the hunt and I love the dig. If I find it, I find it. If I don't, fuck it, I'll go. It's like fishing, man. I'll throw another hook out another day. So I'm about to give up my search for the old Dick Tracy. And I turn around and here's the new arrivals. Boom. Go through the D section. No Dick Tracy. I look up. There, you know how sometimes people like pick something out and they're like, oh, I want it, and then they'll like change their mind and put it on top. Boom, right on top of, I forgot what DVD it was on top of. Bam, screaming at me, Dick Tracy. I remember grabbing this shit and just like, ooh, in the store, dude. I was flipping out. Like, I'm sure the guys looked at me like, oh yeah, he just found something he was looking for months, and they were right, dude. So. Yeah, victory. That's a win, man. That's a fucking win. So after I found that, like, boom, dude, it was cool cruising. I want to get like Alien and Predator 1 and 2, because fuck, those movies rule. They're just, man. If you want a masculine, shoot 'em up, bang 'em up. Let's fucking grind some shit up with the fucking, street sweeper. Fucking shoot some guns. That's the shit right there, dude. And I love that action-packed shit. And so now, I will bring myself to one of the final segments of the night that I'm very proud of. I guess I can start off with these two. They kind of correlate together because it's all by the same dudes. Bingo! That's right, dude. In the box sets, and they were cheap too, dude. And this one's cool. It's got like a update on Mr. Blonde, and it came with the poster, or like a little pamphlet. Fucking Mr. Blonde on it, dude. How could you turn this down? I think this was literally like $4 too. Literally, like $4 freaking bucks, man. The other one doesn't have the pamphlet. It opens and stuff the same style. It's not. I don't believe it's got a bunch of quotes. I mean, I've already showed you a little bit of it, but it's. And then the Pulp Fiction. Kind of a little bummed. I did get this super dope case. I'm a little bummed. It does have like some super cool like bonus entry stuff. It unfolds. It's got some quotes. Didn't have the pamphlet in this one. I should have triple checked. Should have checked the other one. Just sneaked it in, but they tape their shit sometimes. Which is all good, you know, fuck it. If I was a business, I would too, to save some money. But I'm super hyped. I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. And these two literally were both my introduction to him. I'm pretty sure, I forget which one was first. Reservoir Dogs. Chilling with my boy Brando for one of his birthdays, man. And we slapped in Reservoir Dogs. And I remember by the end of it, I was like, what the fuck is this masterpiece? And then shortly after came Pulp Fiction. Oh, actually, no. The first thing I ever seen by him, was Kill fucking Bill, dude. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. And I loved both of them. But I wasn't like, I was like super young. I didn't like comprehend like directors and getting huge into it. I just liked movies, you know. I was obsessed with the shit. Yeah. After that, my buddy Brandon just kind of turned me onto the whole train of him with like Jackie Brown, a lot of his earlier films, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown, Death Proof, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. I mean, there's some others in there. I know he wrote True Romance, which is fucking excellent. I love that movie. That's another one I aim to get in my collection. I almost aim that under Tarantino because he wrote it, and it just screams Tarantino. You can see his fingerprints all throughout that movie. So if you haven't seen Truman, it almost reminds me of fucking Reservoir Dogs. Or no, Pulp Fiction, my bad. It's almost like a playoff of Pulp Fiction in a weird way. And I mean, with both of these movies, I mean, come on. This one was filmed in like... Reservoir Dogs was filmed in like very few locations, you know what I mean? Like in an alleyway and in a warehouse, I think. So like what he did with this was just extremely insane. I can't get over this shit, dude. 92. Came out in 92. Tribute to Lawrence Tierney. Yeah, man. Tim Roth did his freaking thing in this shit, dude. Yeah, you just can't really go wrong. Mr. Blonde, like, I mean, with movies like this, they also, like, implant... The one thing I gotta say I love about Tarantino is his work with his scores and his soundtracks and his movies. Like, he just puts songs... He'll put a song in his movie, and it'll be, like... You won't notice that song. Like, you'll hear the song, but you won't know that song existed until you hear it in one of his movies, and then you're like, this song fucking rules, man. Like, I mean, I love a lot. I like Hush and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've loved that song forever. But I just, like, after fucking that, I remember, like, holy fuck, dude. Deep Purple, like, hearing that in that joint, hearing that in that movie joint, dude, and fucking, me and my boy Jay, I want to say, we were fucking rocking that for, like, a good month after that. Just feeling like fucking badass pimp motherfuckers. Fucking Hollywood motherfuckers driving down the street. Just like bumping Hush, like yeah, it's just the way he does that. Like he did it with like Surf Rock and some other classics and Pulp Fiction. He's got that Chuck Berry, No One Can You Never Can Tell, Chuck Berry, where they're doing the twist and winning that competition. Man, that song sticks with you. Or Little Green Bag in fucking Reservoir Dogs, man. Or Steelers Wheel, fucking Stuck in the Middle with You, bro. How many people, the second they hear that song, that scene where that motherfucker's getting his ear chopped off, pops into their head. And Mr. Blonde's, backing it up, doing his thing. If you watch the documentary, there's a documentary on that, and he's talking about that scene, Mr. Blonde, the actor, excuse his freaking name, Voight, my bad, excuse me, John Voight, I believe, is the actor's name, or Michael Madsen, excuse me, Michael Madsen, John Voight's, wow, that was bad, but yeah, you listen to those songs and they just take you to that place. Anytime I'm hearing some surf rock or anything like that, like fuck man, even a song by let's see, in a good example, the First Edition or like the 11th Floor Elevators. I don't know if he uses any of those joints in this, but like anytime I hear that, it'll even be like, yo, this is kind of Tarantino-esque. He even earned his own like esque, So that's why I'm deeply in love with him, because he just took exploitation films, mashed them together, and fucking became the utmost fucking greatest director of all time, or one of them in my eyes. I shouldn't say that, but he's up there, man. QT fucking rules, man. If you don't like Tarantino, get the fuck out of here. That's all I got to say, dude. continuing on. I'm hyped about this, dude. I found this. I'm kind of pissed one was fucking $7 and one of them was $4, but. Boop, boop, boop. That's right, Grindhouse. Both of them. Rodriguez and Tarantino. And I might have said this earlier on in an episode, but Rodriguez fucking rules, man. The whole Once Upon a Time in Mexico saga, Desperado, and fucking El Mariachi. Yeah. He kind of took like a Sam Raimi route as well and did Spy Kids, which, fuck yeah, dude. If you don't love Spy Kids, what the fuck? I mean, there's some new gen ones that suck a dick, but these ones, the OG ones, especially with Sylvester Stallone, dog, come on, man. Come on, dude. They fucking rule. And you can't deny that shit. All Planet Terror fucking rule. Or all fucking Grindhouse movies rule. Tarantino's Death Proof has one of my favorite actors in it. Fucking, I might have mentioned this before. I'll probably mention it a million times more. Fucking the man himself, fucking Kurt Russell, dude. And just the psychopath he plays in this. I can't get over it, dude. I can't get over it. It's such a great role. He pulls it off so well. It's just so fucking gnarly. Tarantino, as always, has you just gripped to your seat like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. You know, just through the roof. Get that anxiety pumped up. It's fucking sick, man. Same with Planet Terror, dude. Like, if there's one chick that's kills it, dude, it's fucking... excuse me. I don't know her name. I feel terrible. Rose McGowan, dude. They got my boy fucking B-Dub in this bitch, Bruce Willis. So you already fucking know it's a masterpiece. And this was a great era, man. I'm trying to see and find out what time and what year these came out. I want to say... 07. Okay, 07. So, similar timing to Kill Bill. Dude, yeah. Great time for him, if you ask me, man. Like I said, I love both of these movies. Planet Terror fucking rules. Anything that has to do with this shit. Like I said, anything these guys touch, man, they're just genius of their time. And they keep on dishing it out, dude. Like Machete was fucking phenomenal. Robert Rodriguez showed no mercy on that one with Trejo. Made him a legend upon legends, man. I just really have a deep appreciation and admiration for their legacy, and those are two like directors that I deeply respect. I grew up watching Spy Kids, not knowing it was Robert Rodriguez's genius, but like seeing some of his movies and then watching that and seeing like some of the weird like things, like the thumb monsters and some of the weird kooky stuff. It's like, yo, it makes sense. Kind of like the weird shit in Spider-Man and Raimi, you know? I mean, they're both like not kid audiences, but not adult audiences either. It's like right there in the family medium. And I dig that, man. I like, sometimes I don't want it so super harsh. Like, I watch a lot of fucking harsh shit. Sometimes I just want something mellow and weird. And Spy Kids and Spider-Man always do that shit, man. So there you have it. That was my digging experience. This has been a sick episode. Sorry I took a little day hiatus into breaking it down. There is going to be some excellent stuff on this show to come. Anyone who tunes in, thank you. You can follow me on Letterboxd, Booger9363, Discord. I don't really know my Discord right now. I'll definitely get it out there, and it'll be in the descriptions. Facebook, I'm active on Facebook, Luke Sewald. And I'm very talkative, man. If you ever want to shoot me a DM and say what up, just hit me up, dude. Bullshit. We'll chat it up. Like I said, I love learning shit, and you can teach me just as well as I teach you. So, I wish you all a good week. Don't work fucking your ass off, man, because odds are that job don't give a fuck about you anyways. Keep it real. Show respect. Show love to the ones around you. Say what up to your family. Keep it real and stay chill. Peace, y'all. Thank you again for watching. Word is bond.